Today in this video, we're going to go over how to make Christmas ads for your books. If you are self-publishing, and even if you are traditionally published, you will be expected to market your own books. Posting the same ads on your social media platforms can get pretty boring very quickly. So it's important to be able to use the various holidays that fall within the calendar to break things up. I'm going to go over 3 different ads in this video and show how I put them together. And this is not a pure beginner video because I'm going to be focused more on how I designed each one. I have many videos on my Gimp playlist that are more geared towards beginners. So in this video, I will be using the Path tool, the Select by Color tool, the Fuzzy Select tool, and just the other general Gimp tools. In the end of the video, I will give some tips on how to file and catalog your various pictures in order to more easily keep track of them. So to start, I had purchased 3 Christmas banners that I will be using with these 3 ads. This all started when I saw someone else with a book ad where they had used a Santa hat on top of their books. So I went to Deposit Photos and I purchased a Santa hat. I also purchased a red bow, and I had some other graphics that I had purchased at another time for something different, but I'm going to be using those as well. Now, Deposit Photos, usually 2 to 3 times a year, they offer a package where you can pay $100 for 100 pictures. That's the one I always look for. Now, I have seen it go as low as $80 for 100 pictures. So if you can find that one or wait for that one, that's even better. All in all, these 3 ads will only cost $4, and that's only for the royalty-free images that I will be using. So the first ad we're going to do is this one using the Santa hat. Now, again, I didn't think of this myself. I saw it on social media. Someone else had used it. So I'm just going to go over how I created this using a royalty-free picture. So the first thing that I had to do is remove the white background. I needed to have it more on a transparent background. So I'm going to make this one invisible and start with this bottom one. And I'm going to duplicate the picture and then make the bottommost one invisible. Then on this one, if I choose the Select by Color tool and I click on white, it's going to click inside the hat as well. So that's not going to work because we have white in the image. Let me shrink this down a little bit. And we also have white on the background. So I'm going to unselect this, click None. All right, and click the Fuzzy tool. And then click over here. And that has clicked all around the background. So I'm going to check this to make sure that there's an alpha channel. Now there isn't one, so I'm going to click Add Alpha Channel. And what that does is it makes it so that when I delete the background, it will delete all the way to a transparent background. So I'm going to click here and click on Delete. And that now is a Santa hat on the transparent background. So I'm going to come to Select and click None to turn off the selection. Now, before I can use this, and just as a safety measure, it's best to export this, okay, and make sure that you save it as a PNG file. Because if you save it as a JPG file, a JPG file, it will put the white background right back on it. So make sure you save it as a PNG. Okay, so let's go back to the ad. So I'm going to start from the beginning. So I started with a transparent background. And then what I did was I added one of the backgrounds that I had purchased from Deposit Photos. Then I added the picture of my book. This is just the ebook cover. And then on top of that, I took the transparent Santa hat and fitted it on top of the book. And then using the text tool, I just put the name of the book and also a little blurb here that is sort of a come on for people to hopefully click on the ad when it's posted on social media. Now, I always use a size of 1000 by 1072 DPI because that's perfect for online use. And that's the size of this image. So that's the first one that I created. And then, of course, once you create all of your layers here and you want to save it, you cannot just save. If you click on Save As, that's going to save it as a Gimp file. And you can't upload that to social media. So you have to export as, and then make sure, once again, you save it as a PNG file. Okay. I'm not going to do it because I've already saved this. So that's the first ad that I did. Now let's go to the second ad. Okay. So the second ad started out with this picture that I purchased from Deposit Photos. And I did the same thing, except this time, because it was only 2 colors, I was able to use the tool called Select by Color tool. And when I came over and clicked on the white, you might or might not be able to see the marching ants that have now surrounded all of the white. And you just click the background and hit delete, and it will then be on a transparent background. So that's all that I did. And of course, I saved it as a PNG file so that it maintained the transparent background. So having done that, I came back. Oh, I also have created a panel, I'll call it. Let me go back. Let me go down to 100 so it doesn't look blurry. Okay, these are the 4 books in one of my series. Okay, so I put them on a transparent background and they are evenly spaced, specifically to be used in social media. So this is 1000 pixels wide and it's 72 DPI. Okay. So coming over here to this ad, what I did was I started with a white background, and then I dropped in my books that were on a transparent background so you can see through to the white background. And then what I did was I brought in the bow, which was also on a transparent background. And then I put in just a blurb using the text tool, the perfect gift for the readers in your life. And I had also purchased this font not the font, excuse me. This is a graphic that I purchased from Deposit Photos. And I also created a transparency out of this one as well. So this is the second ad that I created. Now, let's go to the third one because the third one is a little bit more complicated. Okay, so the third ad begins with this graphic that I had purchased at another time. This one I had purchased to make banners for a different type of project. Okay, so I wanted to use this center one that has the holly and the berries. So what I did was I came over here. Let me erase all of this. Okay, so over here what I did was I used my selection tool and I selected this. And then I clicked in and selected Edit, Copy Visible. And when you select Copy Visible, it only will copy what's inside the selection area. So then I came back over here and I pasted it. And then I went back to the same picture and I isolated this section here within a selection. And I brought that over and pasted it on the same level. Then I went back to the picture and I only copied this center part right in here. Let me see if I can get the selection here to show you how I did it. Clicked on selection and then just come in here where there's no flowers or anything. It's just the meat of the image, okay? And I did the same thing, edit, copy visible, and came back over here, and one little slice at a time, I built up the inside here to give me a full background. And then at that point, I dropped in my books at the bottom. And then I also swapped out the black title and I made a white one. And then I also put in the name of the series, okay? And then that becomes the third ad. So as you can see, once you learn how to manipulate just a few of these pictures from Deposit Photos or wherever you get your royalty-free photos, once you're able to remove the background, to take a piece of this picture and a piece of that picture, you can see how easy it is to create as many ads as you need. So that's the end of the video. And now I'm just going to go into a little bit more for those who are interested in learning a little bit about how I save the photographs so that I can at least keep track of where they are. The first thing that I do is I have a current projects folder. Current project. And in this current projects folder, I keep all of the pictures that I'm using. Like, for example, here is the golden background that I was using. Here is the bow with the white background. Here's the Santa hat, okay? And then this one is the Santa hat on a transparency. So I keep them all in this current projects folder. So once the current project is finished, I go inside and I make sure that I move all of these types of pictures and anything I download from Deposit Photos. I name them DP for Deposit Photos, dash, Santa hat, whatever. And then if I download the picture from, let's say, Google Images for one reason or another, I put GI so that I know where I got the picture from, because otherwise you can't rely on your memory once you're past 3 or 4 pictures. Okay, so that's how I identify them in that way. Then what I do after I finish all the projects is I go through this and then I move them into their homes, into the folders where they will live outside of a current project. So anything I purchase from Deposit Photos, I put in a folder called Royalty Photos. This is called Royalty Photos 1 because on a storage disk, I have other photos that I've been using for I don't know how many years. Okay, and so all of the pictures that I have, I keep in the royalty-free folder. This way, if I have another project, before I have to go off and purchase anything new, I see what I already have. And if I already have pictures that I can use, I try to use them a second time, which is where I got the banners, the Christmas banners that I used in one of the ads. Then for the other photographs, like the ads themselves, I put those in my marketing folder, marketing novels. And this way, if I am, let's say, putting an ad on social media and I want to put one for Groomed, the book Groomed, if I just put in that word, it pulls up all of the ads that I have created. And this way, it's not only storing the pictures, but it is allowing me to pull them up by the name of the book so that I can decide which ad I'm going to use. Because like I said in the beginning, if you're posting religiously to social media about your books, it can get pretty boring if you keep posting the same ones. So anyway, That's how I keep track of all of my photos. So this is where I keep my marketing photos. And then sometimes I have photos that I use in each of these books, like when I'm designing the actual book cover. So in each of my books, it starts with the name of the book. This is series number 1, and this is the first book. Okay, so I have an images folder that I use for each one. And so very often I will put pictures in here that I need either to reference when I'm describing something in the story as I'm writing it, or it's going to be part of my cover. So very often I have some pictures that are really specific to book covers or the storyline of the books. I keep those inside the book folder. But everything else is either in the marketing folder or it is in the royalty-free folders. Now, there's one other folder that I use, and that is in my marketing novels folder. I have a promotion header because I put a lot of promotions on BookFunnel and also Site Origin. So I have them filed according to the genre. Okay, so let's see. I have one for holidays. So in the holidays, I have autumn banners. Here's a Mother's Day banner. Here's some other Christmas banners. Here's the one I used in the ad today. There was a Halloween. There's some for the 4th of July and Memorial Day. So this way, this one here is for vampires because I do have one group of vampire books. So I have these pictures in here that I can use for the promotion headers. So by limiting the areas where I have these pictures, I can always put my hands on them pretty easily. Occasionally, I will be looking in the marketing folder, and I really need to be looking in the promotion of header folder. But eventually, within 5 minutes, I can put my hand on any picture that I know that I have purchased in the past. So anyway, that is not. I'm not claiming to be the expert on filing pictures because I too am always watching for other authors' videos on how they file their books and their pictures and everything because I'm always open to learning something new. But I wish I had known at least this much information when I had first started, and that's why I offer it to whoever might be interested in it. But anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, if you learned anything, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.